Hello, good afternoon to you all. Namaste and very warm welcome in my channel, Moment with Prasuna. First of all, thank you so much for watching my previous videos, sending me lovely comments, feedback and your valuable suggestions. I really appreciate it. It helps me to keep motivated and come back with new videos every other week. So this week I have defense mechanism. What is defense mechanism? As human beings, why do we defend every now and then? So let's get into detail. Why do we defend? We use defense mechanism to distance ourselves from unpleasant feelings like guilt, anger, pain, shame, or anxiety. A defense can operate very much like old-fashioned armor that we wear to protect ourselves, but instead it limits our own progress and shuts out much of our potential. Unfortunately, our defense mechanism can do a lot more damage than good. When it comes to living quality life, especially if we are making this as a habit or our daily pattern in our lives. So let's get into psychological perspective. Defense mechanisms are our unconscious psychological responses that protects us from feeling of threats to our self-esteem and those things that we don't want to think about or those things that we don't want to deal with. This was first described by a psychologist, one of the most influential thinker, Sigmund Freud in 20th century. He described defense mechanism as an integral part of unconscious psyche of human beings. Knowing our own defense mechanism will help us to recognize our own defenses and navigate through to identify what we might have been doing wrong and how it might have been affecting our own life. So how many types of defense mechanism are there? In how many ways do we defend? So let's talk about different types. There are many types of defense mechanism. However, I'm going to talk about only 5 types today. Number 1, displacement. Let's say if you had a really bad day at work, you've been upset with your boss, but you could not say anything, and then you go home and you bring all those frustration, your anger on your spouse, your children, or your pets like dog and cats. If you're doing this, then you are experiencing the ego defense mechanism of displacement. Very common way is aggression. It comes out in the form of aggression. Not very good. Number 2, denial. Denial is refusal to admit or recognize that something has occurred or it is currently occurring. It is probably one of the best known defense mechanisms, often used to describe situations in which people seem to be unable to face reality or admit any kind of obvious truth. So basically, anything is happening in front of us, we are denying. Let's say, for example, those who are addicted to drug or alcohol, they often deny that they don't drink or they don't have addiction. Similarly, those people who constantly lie and they say, I don't lie. So that's another denial. Another example, if there is death of someone in the family, let's say a son dies and the mother is not able to accept that the son has died. So that's another kind of defense mechanism. It is good in temporary aspect. It actually shields us from anxiety and our pain. But however, in long term, denial can be harmful. In denial, we refuse to talk about the problems and always find ways to justify our behaviors. In denial, people also blame other people, outside forces, for their own problem. So if you're denying, please reflect and have a think. Number 3, repression and suppression. Repression is unconsciously blocking unwanted thoughts or impulses, and suppression is entirely voluntary. In repression, defense mechanism is happening in unconscious way. For example, if a child is experiencing some kind of childhood abuse, and when they go into adult, they might have creating healthy relationships with their spouse, with their friends, or even in society. Whereas suppression is doing it consciously, that we are blocking our emotions, we are blocking our feelings in a conscious way. However, if you keep suppressing for too long, at some point it might burst out in the form of anger, aggression, or any sort of aggressive behaviors. Number 4, sublimation. Sublimation is a defense mechanism that allows us to act out unacceptable impulses by converting this behavior into something good form, such as if a person is experiencing extreme anger, they might take a kickboxing class as a means of venting their frustration. This is known as one of the best defense mechanisms. It actually doesn't harm anyone, but you are expressing in the form of any activities. Sigmund Freud believed that sublimation was a sign of maturity, which allowed people to function normally in socially acceptable ways. So, if you want to choose the best defense mechanism, sublimation is the right one. Number 5, projection. Projection is a defense mechanism that involves taking your unacceptable qualities or feelings and throwing to other people. For example, if you have strong dislike for someone, if you hate someone, you might instead believe that they don't like you. So you're projecting onto yourself. If this becomes like a regular habit, you might start having low self-esteem. Remember, defense mechanism, it can be good or bad. All our defenses can serve a helpful role by protecting our ego from stress and providing a healthy outlet. However, in some instances, these defense mechanisms might hold you back from facing reality and can act as a form of self-deception. If you notice that overuse of any kind of defense mechanism is affecting your life and having a negative impact, please consider consulting a mental health professional. Now let's talk about why people use defense mechanism. What is the reason that we defend? Many defense mechanism happens, like I said, unconsciously without knowing, as a natural part of human mind reaction. This is an attempt to protect your ego and to avoid uncomfortable feelings, thoughts, or impulses. This can range from mild to extreme and maladaptive to adaptive forms. It is very important to identify and understand how this defense mechanism show up in your life and how it can deepen your awareness and expand your choices, especially how to react when you are in a stressful situation or you have difficulty in coping with your anger. Especially people who have been abused and have mental health conditions like anxiety and depression, they often use defense mechanism to cope in day-to-day life. This could be without consciously knowing that they are defensive. Knowing our own defenses actually protects us. Using defense mechanism, in short term, it might make you feel like it's good, it feels good, because you are trying to protect yourself. But the more you continue as a pattern, as a behavior, it will affect in long term. So these were different types of defense mechanism, although there are so many. Hope it has given you some insight, knowing our own defense mechanism and actually how we can protect them. Please do get help if you are having as a regular habit or a pattern and it's affecting your life. Thank you once again for watching. If you like this video or found this video useful, please do not forget to subscribe my channel, like and share. Do send your valuable comments. I'll come up with another topic next week. Until then, take care, goodbye and namaste.